Hello and welcome everyone. This is Blackadder at Blackadder's Place, and I'm today going to talk about the upcoming expansion for Age of Mythology Extended Edition that has been just announced last Thursday at the E3 conference. All that we have been shown or told about it is just this picture you are seeing right now, depicting 3 new gods. So, what are the standing theories as who they could be? Let's have a look. One of the first comprehensive theories about who the gods could be has been posted by me on Friday on Reddit, so let's have a look about my initial reasoning there. When you look at the picture a bit closer, you can see some first telltale signs about the gods. The first that got my attention was the guy on the left, who seems to be kinda earthy themed. It also almost seems like he has some kind of leaves instead of his clothes, and that he is holding maybe some kind of branchlet, and at the first sight I almost thought that it could be an oak leaf together with an acorn, which would strongly point in the direction of Druids and Celts altogether, because they were very into oaks and nature and stuff. So I did a bit of digging, and who seemed to be fitting the description together with the horns was Cernunnos. That's a god that's very old, very ancient, so that would fit his major god theme in the picture. And he has been also considered the horned god and leaf-covered man. Leaf-covered man, well, that's kind of straightforward with his clothes in the picture, but the horned god has a bit of a caveat there because druids originally were very into antlers and not really bullhorns. And when you look at the picture again, these are bullhorns, but well, it could just be an artistic license there, you never know. And well, the guess was there, it could have been him. So, this was the first guess, Cernunnos as the left one. Moving on to the right one, there's the girl, and thanks to the pasty face and the braid constructs in her hair, I kinda thought that she could be Japanese, because they really have the use of this white paint on the face and such. So yeah, I went there into Japan. I also noticed the tentacle thing behind her. It could be tentacles or some snake, or I also thought that it could be a dragon, because Asian dragons are the kind that are the slender snake-like. They are not like the Western type, the huge monsters, more like dinosaurs. So I kind of did some digging into Japanese gods and found out that dragons were connected with water in Japan. And well, here I found out that it might be a problem because the Japanese god for water is actually a man, and well, that wouldn't really suit well. So I did some more digging and actually discovered that he had a daughter that is reasonably important, Toyota Mahime or Otohime, and well, she is considered to be the one that has actually established the emperor line of Japan, which seems pretty important, and overall she is considered amongst the main gods in the Japanese religion, so she could have fit the theme there quite nicely. And what's important also to note, that she also could shapeshift just as her father into a dragon, so the dragon theme at the back, or snake-like theme at the back, could fit her quite nicely. So yeah, that could be it. But at the same time, I also thought that it's kind of far-fetched that it could be Otohime, because even though she seems important and such, it doesn't seem like she would fit the main god theme. Because when you look at the Japanese uh, mythology overall, you can find that their main goddess, absolutely main goddess, is actually Amaterasu. So if they wanted to include a female as a main god, well, I think she would be a much more obvious choice. So I also thought that she might be the one on the picture, and that the snake in the back, or snake dragon, could be just distantly related to her. So yeah, that was that. And the third guy in the middle, well, from the first look at him, I kind of thought that he might be Chinese because he's sporting a goatee. That's the thing for Chinese guys. And even though usually they have a bit longer ones, I thought, well, why not? Again, artistic license to make him look cooler and such. You can see that he's clad in badass armor, which doesn't really fit the philosophical nature of Chinese religion, but still, why not? So I did some digging into that as well and found out that 3 pure ones are some basis of their mythology and seem to be three pretty much the top guys of the mythology all along. They are tied into Taoism and such, so I thought why not? And since the guy in the middle should be pretty much important, the same as Zeus was in the original game, yeah, so he should be some kind of super god of the Pantheon. Well, I just thought that it could be the base guy, which is Yuanchi Tianzun. And even though his depictions are not really all that similar to what we see in the picture, again, artistic license, but what caught my eye is the thing in his right hand, which almost seems like some kind of tablet or some such. And since Yuan Tianzun was credited with actually discovering writing and also as an establisher of Taoism, kind of made sense that it really could be him on the middle picture. So yeah, that was my initial idea about what the three gods could be. At the same time though, I kinda question the possibility of three new civilizations, as the last expansion was just one in Titans, and making three new civilizations would be akin to basically making Age of Mythology 2, which didn't really make all that much sense. So even though I would love three new civilizations, it was with a big question mark. So let's have a look at some other ideas. The second theory then popped up on RTS Sanctuary by Nyan Racing Cat, who has been expanding on the Chinese theme, thinking that all those three guys could be Chinese. So, his initial reasoning was that the first one on the left with the horns could be Chiu. Well, and it seemed like a pretty decent guess, because you can see that Chiu seems to be having a horse, and he is being described as his head was that of a bull with two horns, so that would definitely fit the theme of the two horns, but other than that, I wasn't exactly sure that he is so earth themed that it would suit him all that well. But still, the guess was there, and if he was to be Chinese, the god on the left as well, it made some sense. Then he made a suggestion that the goddess on the right could actually be Nuva, and to be honest, that seemed like a pretty much given. Once I read that she is the Chinese goddess that is credited with creating mankind, which basically makes you one of the most important gods in the mythology altogether, and the fact that she is also considered as a snake goddess because her lower parts are of the snake, when you look at the picture here, you suddenly know that that is most definitely her. That is just most definitely her. You can see the braid constructs there in the picture. It fits. She has the snake-like lower body, which is on the picture quite nicely. So yeah, this really seemed like it could be her, and I really like this suggestion. As for the third guy, as he was considering that all of those three were from the same religion, and that is Chinese, he thought that it could be Yellow Emperor. Yellow Emperor is considered basically one of the ancestors of the whole Chinese nation, so that would make sense. He is considered pretty important, and also Yellow Emperor as a ruler would kind of fit the theme of the armor-clad guy, as opposed to my idea about the philosopher kind of guy. So it was really a pretty decent idea, and other guys they thought could be the middle one. Also, Yuan Tianzun, which is the one I was talking about, the one from the three pure ones, I theorized this one as well, so we were in the same kind of neighborhood there, and he also thought that it could be Fuxi. That was another one that is pretty important in the Chinese mythology and considered amongst the three sovereigns, which were, well, some of the top guys of Chinese mythology overall. So yep, I really like these suggestions, and well, apart from Chiu, I kinda thought he might be onto something here, quite seriously, especially with the Nuva girl. After I read the ideas from Nyan Racing Cat, that really sparked my imagination, and I really thought that some of those choices were definitely great ones. I rethought my initial idea and kind of made it fit that it could really be the Chinese theme all along. And I posted on Reddit already on Friday as well that actually I agree on the Nuva because she seems to be pretty much given. You just have to look at the picture. And well, when you consider it with the screenshot that we were given, it seems like it's definitely her. The snake-like lower part, the braid constructs that she's Asian, the importance in the Chinese mythology. Well, it seems pretty much given that it is her. But what I did not agree on was the Chiu guy, as he really seemed kind of far-fetched. You don't really see any pictures of him being nature-themed. He is more like a warrior or some such. So it didn't really fit that it could be Chiu. And when I did some digging, I actually discovered that who the guy on the left could be from Chinese mythology could be Shenong. Shenong is a special guy considered as some kind of inventor of pretty much everything agricultural and also a father of herbal medicine. That is pretty important in China altogether. And what immediately caught my attention is that he also has horns. And he is being described as Chiu, that is the guy that I was talking about earlier, that like him, they were both ox-headed, sharp-horned, broad-headed, and iron-skulled. So even though most of his depictions are with short horns, well, he still has some with long horns, like here, and in the description you can see the justification for the long horns. And especially when you look at pictures like these, when he's covered in leaves, holding some kind of leaflet in his hand, or branchlet or some such, it's it's basically him. It's really him. He is covered in leaves, bull horns, he has some branchlet in his hand, and well, only question remains, what is this over his shoulder? Is it maybe some agricultural tool? I don't know, maybe some kind of stuff, but otherwise he seemed to fit pretty greatly, and I really do believe that Shannon could be him, because he is also super important. He's considered amongst the three sovereigns, together with Yellow Emperor and Fuxi. So the justification for him being a main god is definitely there. So that could be the left guy. And about the middle one, well, I also looked a bit more. The Yellow Emperor that Nyan suggested seems a decent idea, but I more thought that the Jade Emperor could be a bit better. Jade Emperor is actually a guy that should be above the Yellow Emperor in hierarchy, although they are kinda not dependent altogether. And he is also the one that in Taoism is Yuan Shi Tianzun, the one I was speculating about earlier. And if I were to say that he was Jade Emperor, it would make a lot more sense, since then he could be clad in armor as an emperor, why not, as a warrior and such. And the theme with the tablet and possible writing and Taoism would definitely set it in place there. So this was the idea that I sparked and created after I read Nyan's idea, and well, it seems like the best guess at this moment, for me at least. What do you think? Another speculation as to who the three new gods could be has been sparked by Tivius at NeoGAF, and let's have a look what his ideas are. He thinks that the guy on the left could be Dagda from Celtic mythology, and he's mainly basing that he is armed with a magic club, which could be the thing over his shoulder. Well, definitely, why not? It could be some kind of weapon, club or some such, so that could possibly make sense. And also that he is known as a horned man. Yeah, you can see some depictions with horns, and that's bull horns. So it could really make sense, it could be him. And he is also considered a high king, so basically the main god of the Celts. So he would fit the description of a main god, though he's again not really into nature, and the depiction in here really seems to suggest that the left one has a really close tie to nature and some kind of trees or flowers or some such. But well, it could be kind of substituted by just Celtic and Druidic overall affinity to nature. So, well, the idea is here. We all seem to agree that the woman on the right will be Nuwa from the Chinese mythology. So yeah, again, that seems pretty much given. The lower part, the braids and such, so that's it. And he thought that the one in the middle, that is pretty much the biggest enigma of them all, could be one from the Persian or Mesopotamian or Canaanite mythology. So some kind of Middle Eastern guy, which would kind of make sense because the mythology there is pretty rich and it hasn't been covered in Age of Mythology at all. And well, it's really interesting. What he thinks that it could be, the most probably, is Ahura Mazda, that is the main god from the Persian Zoroastrianism. Though, if I were to be honest, if it was to be him, I would kind of expect those uh, wings to be there with him and the telltale long beard and such. I'm especially missing the wings there in the picture. It's basically at every picture that you look at of Ahura Mazda, he is accompanied by those wings, and there's nothing like that. So I'm kind of skeptical about it. Maybe the head could make sense, but well, pretty good guess anyway. The second that he thought it could be, it would be El from Canaanite mythology, as basically the main god, and he seems kinda similar from the description and some of the pictures to the Ahura Mazda, even though he is missing the wings, so he could possibly be substituted kinda well. He has both those hands kinda outstretched, holding something, so golden head, well, possibly could be it. The third one that he thought about could be Anu from Mesopotamian mythology. And again, that's a main god right there. Sky god, god of heaven and constellations and such, king of gods. And his depictions, well, they also seem to be having some kind of hat at his head. And together with it though, he seems to be having a pretty large goatee. Or well, it's not even goatee, it's just beard right there. And it seems to be pretty iconic for him, so I would kind of expect it to be in the picture, which it isn't. Which kind of says to me that it won't probably be him. But anyway, this guess from Tivius is also pretty decent and really worth thinking about. So yeah, that's it. And as a nice bonus just before publishing the video, we have a post here from Timchi, a cultural Chinese, who seems to think that all those three gods are Chinese, and from the left, Shannon, Yellow Emperor and Niva. At this point it seems that Niva is pretty much given as we agree on her all across the board, but on the left he supports my idea of the divine farmer Shannon as opposed to Chiu or Dagda from Tivius, and basing that on the picture where he is in a leafy outfit, eating some kind of branch from his hand and having the horns. In the middle though, he believes that it's a Yellow Emperor as opposed to my Jade Emperor, and even though I believe Jade Emperor to be a slightly more important figure, well, Timchi definitely has a better insight into Chinese culture and could just as well be right. I guess we will have to wait and see who the creators have chosen as the more important figure in Chinese mythology. Well, what do you think about those 5 ideas? Could one of them be right? Let me know in the comments, and if you have some more suggestions about who those 3 guys could be, definitely let me know. And in the meantime, all we can do is wait for a better resolution picture so that we can finally decipher who those 3 new faces in the upcoming expansion to Age of Mythology Extended Edition are. So, thank you for watching, I've been Blackadder at Blackadder's Place, and don't forget to subscribe for more news on Age of Mythology.